Hello everyone, I am Madhu Chetan N. In this video, I am talking about collection of data, its meaning and its types. Before knowing what is data collection, we should know what is data. Data constitutes foundation for any statistical analysis. The any decisions taken in statistical analysis or any reports produced in statistical analysis, it should be based on certain data. Then what is this data? Data are the facts and other relevant information. Maybe it's related to past or present, which serves as basis for study and analysis. The example for data is the opinion of employees. Here the data is what? The opinion of employees. What the employees' opinions are. On what? On a new method of productions. How the company is running a new method of production. So on this, the company can collect opinions of employees. This is what? The data. Now coming to meaning of data collection. The data collection is a process. The process of what? The process of searching for answers to a given problem is called data collection. So a researcher wants to search an answer for a problem. So to solve that problem, to find answers for those problems, he needs some information to analyze them. So those informations are collected. Those information are called as the data. The collection of those data, this process is called as data collection. Now coming to types of data, there are two categories. First one is primary data, which is known as first hand data, and the second one is secondary data. It can also be called as data which is already published. What is primary data and what is secondary data, that we will see in detail. At first, coming to primary data is the one which is collected by the investigator himself. Why? For the purpose of a specific inquiry or study. The such data is original in character and is generated by survey conducted by individual or research institution or any organization. For example, data collected through census or observation or interview or by questionnaire. What is questionnaire, that we will see in next. The best example for primary data is if a researcher is interested to know the impact of noon meal scheme for the school children, he has to undertake a survey and collect data on the opinion of parents and children by asking relevant questions. Such a data collected for the purpose is called primary data. According to Wessel, he defined primary data as data originally collected in the process of investigation are known as primary data. What it says, what is primary data? The primary data are those which are originally collected by the investigator himself. So these data are called as primary data. Now coming to secondary data. Secondary data are those which are collected from published or unpublished sources. What is this secondary data? Secondary data are those data which have been already collected and analyzed by someone else, some other investigator, some other enumerator, some other agency, some other organization, and later the same data are used by a different agency, by a different investigator, by a different researcher. This is called secondary data. Means the data which is already exist, those data are called as secondary data. For example, books, newspapers, magazines, etc. Now coming to definition, according to Wessel, data collected by other persons are called secondary data. So the secondary data are not collected by the investigator himself. So these are the data collected by other persons. So these data are used for the purpose of statistical analysis. The data which are used for the purpose of statistical analysis, which are already exist, which are already used, which are already published, is called as secondary data. Now let us see what are the methods of collecting primary data. As I told you before, the primary data are those data which are personally collected by the investigator. Now, how an investigator can collect the primary data? There are popular 5 methods. The first one is direct personal investigation. Second one, indirect personal investigation. And the third one, questionnaire method. And the fourth one, questionnaire sent through post. And the fifth one, schedules sent through enumerators. Now let us see one by one in detail. The first one, the direct personal investigation. What is personal investigation? It is just like an interviewing. How interview takes place, where a person asks the questions to the another person, interviewer and interviewee. So in this method, the investigator collects relevant first-hand information by interviewing the respondents. It not only involves conversation but also learning from the respondents' body languages and pauses. This method is suitable when the respondents are illiterates or less educated. In order to collect certain personal data relating to a person's opinions, attitudes, values, and beliefs, this method can be used. This method can also be can this method can be face to face or by over phone. This method is can be used as a primary method or supplementary method. Now let us see the second method of collecting primary data, that is indirect personal investigation. Under this method, the investigator approaches the persons indirectly concerned with the subject matter of the inquiry to obtain the necessary information. Under this method, a small list of questions relating to the investigation is prepared, and these questions are asked from different persons and their answers are recorded. So here in this method, the indirect questions are asked to the person from whom the informations are required by the investigator. So this method is called as indirect personal investigation. Now coming to the most popular method of collecting primary data. It is questionnaire method. It contains a set of questions relating to a problem chosen for study. So what is questionnaire? It means the questionnaire is a questions are arranged in a logical order. Under this method, certain questions are asked based on the study to the respondents, where the respondents has to fill the questionnaire and submit it to the investigator. Based on their responses, the study analysis will be done. Now moving to mailed questionnaire method. Under this method is also questionnaire is used, where the questionnaires are sent through posts or sent to their mail IDs, where the respondents has to fill the questionnaire and send it back to the researcher or the investigator. Here the importance of their responses will be informed to the respondents, and the time will be the specified time will be given to the respondents to reply the mailed questionnaires. Now moving to the fifth and last method of collecting primary data, which is schedules sent through enumerators. This method of collecting primary data is used in census and large scale surveys, where trained personnel called enumerators are engaged to collect information from respondents. These enumerators are provided with standardized questionnaire to collect information. Such questions are called schedules. Each enumerator is assigned the responsibility of collecting information from a specific area. The enumerators explain clearly to the respondents the objective and purpose of collecting information and fill the schedules. With this, I am ending this video class. Thank you.